Now, with that all out of the way, let's get to the fastest way to build credit. Now, it stands to reason that your credit history won't be built overnight, right? So even though these steps I'll be recommending is the fastest way to build credit, without dedication, repetition, and strict adherence, you may not get the desired result as fast as you want. So here are the 10 simple, need-to-know fastest way to build credit tips. Tip number 1, maintain a low utilization ratio. Be careful not to get carried away purchasing too many items that you really just don't need. Although it may enhance the standard of living for a while, using credit to purchase wants rather than needs can put you at more risk of damaging your credit, especially if it becomes a habit. Now, this is also especially important when it comes to avoiding paying interest and late fees. With that, try to maintain a utilization rate below 30%. But to significantly improve your credit more quickly, you need to make that at least 10%. For example, if your credit card limit is $5,000, try to keep that balance owed below $500. Now, tip number 2, pay your bills on time. Now, for the fastest way to build credit, the best time, which is on time to make your payments, is probably before the statement closing date, whenever your debt to credit ratio begins to climb too high. And what exactly is too high? Well, anything over 30%, as we learned in tip number 1. Payment history contributes to about 35% of your credit score, so even if you can't afford to pay what's due on your statement before the closing date, at least pay it on time. In fact, the fastest way to build credit is to pay everything from your household bills, monthly rent, utility bills, and any medical bills all on time. This will greatly enhance your credit score over time. Now, if you need help making those monthly payments on time, set reminders on smartphones or use other applications like Google Calendar, which is what I use personally in my business and in my personal life. So make sure you do that. Now, tip number 3, track your personal expenses. This is really important because you need to know what you can cut down on. This practice may seem a little bit of a nuisance in the beginning and a bit uncomfortable because essentially what I'm asking you to do is account for every dollar you spend. But you can make this a lot easier by cutting down on cash purchases that you make and using a debit card. Because as you know, with a debit card, those transactions are cataloged on a monthly statement. So it's less of a headache to track the spending. Alternatively, there are so many expense trackers out there. Try a few that I use that work for me, because knowing what you spend money on is the fastest way to build credit, because you'll be able to make the right decisions on what you can cut back on. Now, as far as those expense tracking apps that I use, Mint.com, CreditKarma.com, I suggest you check those out. I'll leave links to their sites in the description of this video below. Tip number 4, if you can't cut down on expenses, then increase your revenue streams. Now, I realize that initially, it's a lot easier said than done. We all have 168 hours in a week, and many of us have little to no spare time around work and play. But just like tracking expenses, we can track, what we do on a daily basis to see if you may be able to fit in learning a new skill, or freelancing online, or even getting a part-time job. Again, I realize this may be easier said than done. However, if you are able to replace, say, TV time, for example, with learning a new skill off of lynda.com or even YouTube, you may be able to perform some freelance work online. Now, for online work, research sites like Fiverr.com or Upwork.com, and I'll leave links to those sites in the description as well. But if you're not sure what online freelance work you could do, check out the link to the article in the description below, 101 tasks to outsource to a virtual assistant to grow your business. Because online work, it's not just for developers who know C++ and who can write code in their sleep. I think you'll be pretty surprised at the number of things that you can do with just a bit of research to earn some extra money on the side. Tip number 5, make additional principal payments for loans when you can. Now, some months you may receive extra income that you didn't anticipate. Your wealthy uncle might write you a check for your birthday, or your father may have made a secret investment. Whatever the case is, should this happen, you could use that money to help make those additional principal payments, and that will improve your credit score quickly, which is why it's on the list of the fastest ways to build credit. But with that, always remember to use your credit cards as responsibly as you can, drawing a clear distinction between what you want and what you really need. Tip number 6, Get a secured credit card. If you're anything like me, a few years ago, you might not have been able to qualify for a credit card. Secured credit cards are those cards that require an upfront payment as collateral. Once the payment is made, you'll receive a card with the payment amount as the account minimum balance. For instance, if you pay $1,000, then your credit card limit will be $1,000 on that card. And all transactions will be reported to credit bureaus just like any other card. And as you use it responsibly, it reflects well on your credit history. So if you can't qualify for a credit card at the moment, this really is the fastest way to build credit, and it's one of the first things that I did to help build credit for myself. Tip number 7, get a credit builder loan from your bank or credit union. This is a type of loan that restricts withdrawal of the entire amount of the loan, generally until the loan is paid off. Now this money is generally kept in an account that generates interest as your monthly payments are made into that account as well. So once that loan is repaid, the cash plus accrued interest becomes yours. And the repayment is recorded and it goes into improving your credit history. I'll leave a link in the description of this video where you can learn more about the 3 most common types of credit builder loans and how all the details of that can work. So keep in mind though that the fastest way to build credit with a credit builder loan is to combine that strategy with all of the other ones that are listed in this video. So with that, tip number 8, if possible, become an authorized user on the credit card of someone that you can trust to be financially disciplined and someone who can trust you. Your name will be attached to their credit and you'll reap the benefits of their financial discipline. And that goes a long way with respect to enhancing your credit history. So you may even make arrangements to not even have access to that card at all. In other words, you'll just be an authorized user as far as the bank is concerned, but your friend and family member will be the only one using it. Now, obviously, this will vary drastically depending on what's agreed to, but it's a great way to help build your credit quickly. Now, tip number 9, keep a close eye on your credit reports. This is really important. Look out for errors because these errors do happen. This is extremely important because with each credit bureau, you have the ability to pull one free credit report each year to see what your FICO score is. Among Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, these scores may differ slightly, but not all institutions will report to all 3. Also, creditkarma.com that I mentioned is a free resource that you can use to keep an eye on your credit. Keep in mind though that this site, the score that's reflected is relatively close to what your score actually is, but it's probably not 100% accurate. Nevertheless, part of the fastest way to build credit is knowing where you can improve, but also making sure that your credit report does not contain any errors at all. Now, as you keep a close eye on your credit report and what's in your credit profile, if you skip or miss any monthly payments, all is not lost. Just fix it immediately. Now, if you're a month overdue, pay 2 months without hesitation if you're able to do so. Tip number 10, finally, never take a loan out to repay another loan. You may have heard of this as borrowing from Peter to pay Paul. But if you finish paying one loan off before applying for a new one, it'll put you in a better position to build your credit more quickly. Now, I know this video was the 10 simple need-to-know fastest way to build credit tips, but as it so happens, I wanted to give you a bonus to say thank you for sticking with me through this video. Because if you're still watching it, it likely means that you found this video helpful. So here goes. Here's the bonus tip. Now, I've shared this information with friends and family, and what many of them have found after taking action as they've discovered the fastest way to build credit alongside me is as long as their credit utilization ratio was below that 10% that I mentioned in tip 1, better yet, their balance was even paid off. They were able to get an interest rate reduction and an increase in their credit limit. Now, making this happen is usually just as simple as a phone call. My friend, for example, was looking to buy a washer and dryer for a wedding as a gift for her cousin. So she called her credit card company and requested a credit increase. She got it. And what we then discovered is that by requesting a limit increase every 6 months and simply asking for an interest rate reduction, it was typically granted, provided that she was following the fastest way to build credit tips that are mentioned in this video. And there are other ways to maintain good credit, I know, but as soon as you're granted a credit card limit increase, the utilization ratio drops. So that will have a positive impact on your credit. Now, a little disclaimer here that I should let you know before we wrap this video up is that I am not a financial expert. I'm just a regular guy with some tips that worked for me. So when I needed that credit repair for myself, it worked. So I was looking for the fastest way to build credit, and I wanted to share what I found that worked for me and what's worked for my friends and family. It's also important to note that one of the reasons many of us seek to improve our credit is because we want to buy a home. Now, if you're looking to improve your credit because you're wanting to purchase a house, check out the video that I have, Can I Buy a House with Bad Credit? I'll put the video link in the description below. Now, if you're looking to buy a home or sell a home in San Diego, just reach out to us via phone at 500-2444, that's area code 619-500-2444, or send us an email at info@sdchb.com, or just visit the website, sdchb.com, for more information. Hey, thanks for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe to our channel to ensure that you don't miss all of our tips and tricks about all things real estate and beyond. And follow us on social media too. If you didn't like this video, please subscribe to our channel and let us know how we can improve. Do leave comments in the comment section below if you have any questions, and we will do our best to answer them. Once again, thanks for watching. This is Christian from San Diego County Homebuyers, the real estate team you love and know. We're the ones that know your home, San Diego. See you on the next one.